So my name is Lorenzo Hall. I'm a psychology, mental health and employment coach, and I run a training organisation that helps people who are a bit further back and struggling to achieve jobs, to make progress. Our organisation is called Transform and Achieve. Our 10, 12 years of experience really has been working with the kind of people that SRAG is trying to help. So as coaches, we meet all these people who have a variety of barriers, a variety of challenges. And over the years, it's been really quite challenging to be able to give them really, reliable sources to go to if they've got the various barriers that they may have. They could be ex-offenders, they could be on the ASD spectrum, for example, or neurodivergent. They could just have been unemployed long-term for a long time. They can have mental health challenges, but very capable of doing work. But have been unemployed, if you like, for some time because of their mental health challenge. So they could be in a sort of recovery end of that mental health challenge. Unfortunately, most recruitment agencies, don't give them the time they deserve. They just go for the easy candidates, And as coaches, we find that quite heartbreaking. So, especially when you're sat in front of someone who's talking to you like I'm talking to you, very capable of having a conversation, very capable of doing work, and passionate about doing work. So I just 100%, I'm so enthused by what SRAG are doing and support it 100%. Number one is to put in place a policy, but an active policy as opposed to a passive policy. So for me, a policy that recognises that people come from a variety of backgrounds, people may have barriers, and that people should be offered various recruitment methods to compensate for that. So sometimes some of the recruitment methods are really directed more at people who are closer to the job market. In other words, they've recently been unemployed or may not even be unemployed. They may be coming from one job to another. That's the kind of easy fix, because if someone's currently doing the job, it's quite easy to see that they could probably fit in, I suppose. But I think policies would be a great idea to make sure there is a recruitment policy that welcomes applicants from these diverse range of backgrounds. That's one thing. The second thing they need to do is train people to be able to be good at the policy, if that makes sense, right? And I think they also need an ambassador as well within each organisation that actually ensures that old habitual practices, as they say, old habits die hard. Old habitual practices are reviewed and are updated and upgraded. I think because there's so much talent we know in people, and I think that the employers are missing out hugely on what could be very committed, loyal people who are desperate to find work. So highly motivated individuals. So I think employers certainly can do that. The last thing employers need to do, I suppose, maybe there's more, but certainly one of the key things is support the people when they come into work. So have a great support package that goes in place for these people, so that they're welcomed in, that they're socialised, not just inducted. There's an induction process and onboarding, but there's a socialisation process. And for people who haven't worked for a long time, sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming, and particularly if they've not been in an environment like that. So I think the socialisation, what can make someone feel comfortable? Answer that question. What can make someone feel quite comfortable? And I'm sure it's common sense pretty after that, really, to help someone feel socialised. So to me, those are key things. And I think training for managers, not just for the recruitment team, training within the organisation to recognise whether people are partially sighted, if you like, elderly with disabilities, or any of the other barriers I've mentioned, really. That they're made aware that these people, of the needs that these individuals have, and the advantages, actually, by the way. I think they should also highlight the advantages a lot in their discussion about these types of people.